Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment where we love pop culture. Today, it's time for another comic book review. Now, when we left off with issue number 2 of Shadecraft, we were introduced to Zadie's new school counselor, Angela, but we quickly found out Angela is there to do more than just lend an ear. How will all this play out? Well, we're definitely going to get some answers as I get on with my comic book review for Shadecraft issue number 3. Now, when I said we were going to learn some more about this not-so-school counselor, well, right off the top, we're going to learn that she is Special Agent Angela Owens, and she works for the United States government, and she seeks out people like Zadie. And she would like to give Zadie answers, however, Zadie, she's going to have to put her down. That's if she can learn how to control the shadows. Thankfully, Ricky is there to assist her in quite the unique way through an embarrassing story that will allow her subconscious to be distracted by laughter. Once Angela is out of the grasp of the shadows, she will tell Zadie that she is not the first she's seen that can control these shadows. However, her abilities are the greatest yet. From here, Angela and Zadie will try to figure out just how she got this power and how her brother might have become a shadow in the first place. And while there are still many questions to be answered, Angela tries to reassure Zadie that she is not here to harm her, but to teach her. Now, later that night, Zadie is caught by her dad sneaking back into the house, where he tells Zadie he knows what she's dealing with, and he promises not to let Zadie's mom know about this. The most important takeaway is us seeing that Ricky can't communicate verbally right in front of their dad, while he can't hear a peep. As we go to the next day, we see Zadie, without Ricky, heading off to the studio where Angela is ready to begin Shadecraft 101. And while Zadie will really want to learn how to maximize her abilities, Angela feels it's best to take the Mr. Miyagi approach and start with the fundamentals. As Zadie takes tiny bunny hops in her training, the only emotion that she has experienced is boredom. But it's when she begins unleashing her emotions of frustration with everything she's dealing with in her life, that's when her true power comes to life. Angela will tell Zadie that controlling her emotions is key, that Shadecraft tends to react more to negative emotions more than positive ones. Which of course might be easier said than done with all the pent-up emotions of just being a teenager alone. But Angela wants to make it known to Zadie that with her abilities, she'll never be a normal girl. However, in the right hands, she could be extraordinary. Now, as Zadie leaves her Shadecraft session, she bumps into Josh for another awkward encounter, where Josh reveals that he might have actually seen some type of shadows, but Zadie will try to play it cool and tell him she was just playing around. Zadie will tell Angela about the conversation she had with Josh, and that when Angela tries to make sense of it all by coming up with the hypothesis that not only are the shadows following him, but the chances are they're still out there. Now, Angela's advice to Zadie is not to do anything. So what is the first thing that Zadie does? Well, of course she goes right to Josh's house with her brother by her side. Now, as Zadie knocks on the door, it is quickly open and out comes Josh and his date, Carla, the girl who, let's just say, was never very nice to Zadie. And in a quite interesting moment, it appears that Zadie has either concealed herself inside of Ricky's shadows or used her shadows to camouflage herself. So what else is Zadie and Rick to do but to follow these two on their date to the fair, where of course everything there casts some type of creepy shadow. Now, here's where Zadie and Rick actually have a nice brother and sister moment, where Ricky is willing to go to bat to teach Josh a lesson. And while Zadie appreciates this gesture, the fact that he just shows some brotherly love is what's most important to her. Now, as Zadie and Rick do a little bit more investigating, there's two things that they notice. Number one, it appears that Carla is dumping Josh, and number two, there's a big bad shadow ready to chomp down. From here, Zadie will throw out some distractions as well as some moves she quite possibly learned playing some Street Fighter, but the shadow only seems to get angered by this, leading Zadie to cower and the shadow laying quite the wallop on her. Now, the shadow will get the upper hand, that is until she finally comes to the realization that she will never be normal, and why not be extraordinary. And just like that, she is able to get control over her emotions, as it appears that Zadie is ready to graduate from the bunny slope, as she feels like she finally has some control over her life once again. The next day, Zadie goes back to tell Angela that she ignored her request. However, not only did she find the shadow monster, but she showed it who's the boss. And while all this seems like good news, Angela is going to break the news to Zadie that she still has one more shadow to conquer, and that being Ricky, because she's going to tell Zadie that Ricky is not her brother. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give issue number 3 of Shadecraft an 8.5 out of 10. Writer Joe Henderson's pacing in issue 3 is extremely well done throughout, where we not only get more information about just exactly what Shadecraft is, but we're seeing the struggles of not only Zadie embracing this quite unique ability, but also learning to control it. And at the end, we're left with the surprise that the shadow is not who it appears to be. Just how will Zadie deal with this stark revelation? Well, we're just gonna have to wait and see when issue number 4 of Shadecraft is released on June 23rd. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up my comic book review for Shadecraft issue number 3. Now, have you been reading this series and what are your thoughts so far? Comment down below. And guys, if you like comic book reviews like this and all things pop culture, make sure you stay tuned in here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.